Good morning, folks. Another day, another dollar. Today is Thursday, and these are the top 5 things to know today in financial markets. Kicking things off at number 1. Trade headlines are giving risk sentiment a boost this morning. It's been a while since we had those. China said early Thursday that it was cutting tariffs on as much as $75 billion worth of U.S. goods. Those tariffs come down from 10% to 5% on some of those, and 5% to 2.5% on others. Overall, a gesture of goodwill from China, which should bode well for the start of phase 2 trade negotiations between the two countries. Those are expected to take much longer and will be more difficult than the phase 1, as they will focus on issues like intellectual property theft. In addition, what we saw was really China adding that perhaps taking headlines away from the virus outbreak. That will give some investors good news on that. Financial markets are welcoming that. On to number 2. Coronavirus fears are still in the news, but much less of a factor than they were at the start of the week and late last week. The death toll in China continues to mount, with the number reaching 563. A number of confirmed cases are up above 28,000. However, there's cause for optimism. Statistics show that the only 2% of those infected by the new virus have died, which indicates that it is slightly more lethal than the seasonal flu, but much less lethal than SARS, which we saw in 2002, 2003, which had almost a 10% death rate. Another cause for optimism, there were reports on Wednesday which said there was some breakthroughs in terms of treating patients with the virus. However, the World Health Organization quickly played down those comments. As always, check out any headlines regarding this topic as the session progresses, which might sway sentiment. On to number 3, we see global stock markets really enjoying a relief rally, which has really been taking place most part of this week. In China, markets closed up about 2% over there. In Europe, markets are rallying as well. And in Wall Street, U.S. futures are indicating another strong day, with the Dow futures up about 110 points at the moment, slightly off the session highs, the overnight session highs. We were up about 200 points earlier, but still sentiment remains upbeat. On Wednesday, stocks rallied for the 3rd consecutive day, with the S&P and NASDAQ both reaching record highs. In focus will be Tesla, after really having a wild roller coaster week this week. As stock's been all over the place. Shares are indicated about 1% lower this morning. Check out our Investing.com weekly financial markets related cartoon focused on Elon Musk and Tesla. That will be on the website shortly. On to number 4, earnings will also remain in focus. The earnings season has not been well to social media names so far, with Facebook and Snap both getting hit by sellers. This morning, Twitter hopes to buck that trend when it reports its latest quarterly results ahead of the opening bell. We'll be looking for updates from the company regarding user growth and monetization efforts, and as well as ad revenue. The options market is implying a 13% move in either direction following the results, so probably a lot of volatility in that name. After the closing bell, Uber will take the spotlight. It's expecting to report another loss. However, revenue is expected to come in at $4 billion. Really, shares of the company are up 25% so far this year. So we'll see if there's enough in that report to continue the rally. Other notable companies reporting include Wane and software stocks, Zendesk and Fortinet. Check out my weekly article published yesterday on Investing.com. 3 in-demand software stocks which could surprise on earnings. Zendesk is one of them, so pay close attention to that one. And on to number 5, the Casper Sleep IPO will be in focus. The online betting retail company had its IPO late on Wednesday, pricing the initial public offering at $12 per share, below the expected range of $12 to $13, and that was already lowered from the range of $17 to $19. So we see not much institutional demand for the name so far. We'll see how Casper Sleep performs today. As always, may the trading gods be with you. Have a good day, everybody.